When I say, who's the master? You say, show enough.
What is up, guys? Showing Up the King here, back with another video, and today I am bringing you a side quest. This is the Mag Nerd Podcast episode special. I do apologize, guys. I know I said we were going to bring you guys regular content on the podcast, but schedules and conflicts have been arising. So what I'm going to be bringing you guys in the next coming weeks and months is these side quests. Whenever I don't get an opportunity to record with my homie, Alden, Ghostman, I will be personally bringing you guys content. It's a lot easier sometimes this way. I get off of work. I can got content. I'm just going to sit down, record, upload it for your pleasure. Alright? So before we get into the discussion today, you know what time it is. It's time for them plugs, baby. So you guys know, follow the Mag Nerd Podcast on Instagram at Mag Nerd Podcast. You can also follow me on my YouTube channel. Make sure you guys are subscribing to Showing Up the King, ShowNuffdaking. You can also follow us on Twitter at Mag Nerd Podcast 2. And again, you can always check out the podcast. It is available on Apple Music, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Spotify. It's everywhere. Just look for Mag Nerd Podcast and you'll find us. Alright? Alright. So what's on today's episode? So, we got a lot to talk about. We got two minor stories that I want to talk about, and then two major topics that I want to talk about. The minor stories, which I'll probably talk about first, is I want to talk about the Division 2. The Division and Anthem are two of the biggest games that I'm looking forward to in 2019. We actually just got some information on Division and their pre-order situation. I know there's a lot of people complaining about that. So I want to talk about that. And also, I want to talk about Apex Legends. Apex Legends is a new game that just got released by Respawn. This is a game that we all thought was Titanfall 3, but it's not. And you know, I got some thoughts on that. So that's actually downloading right now. It's a free-to-play game, so if you guys want to check it out, go ahead and do so. It's free to play. One other thing and there are a couple of other little offshoot things that I want to kind of talk about as well. Just some random shit that, you know, came across the table that I had some thoughts on. Can I talk about Demi Lovato real quick? So, I don't know if you guys are familiar with 21 Savage. He's a rapper, originally from the UK, you know, but came over to the United States, blah, blah, blah. So, apparently, he got deported. Well, he's getting deported because, again, he's not a legal U.S. citizen. His visa had expired for like over 10 years, and they finally picked him up in Atlanta over Super Bowl weekend. They're going to deport him. So, of course, you know, as the internet does, they decided to make fun of him. They did all these memes because, you know, he's from the UK, so all these, like, British memes started coming out. It was hilarious. I saw some of them. Very funny. Everybody was laughing at him. So, Demi Lovato decided to comment on it. She's like, yo, these 21 Savage memes are the best part of the Super Bowl, which I think most people would agree. But for some reason, Black Twitter decided to just go ape shit on Demi Lovato. They started bringing up her suicide attempt and all like the drug use and all she did was comment on the fact that something was funny. Simple. It was, and I'm upset about it because I feel like, you know, we as people are just so hypocritical that we're looking for opportunities to just rag on somebody, and I don't like it. I don't like it at all. So they went in on, and celebrities were going in on her. I'm like, the memes are out there. The memes are funny. She made a comment on the fact that the memes were funny, which they were. She wasn't making fun of the fact that the nigga was getting deported. She was just making fun of the fun that the memes were there. So why is it that Demi Lovato can't get a pass? She can't see funny in something. She can't see humor in something. Because what? Because she's white? Italian, whatever she is. Sorry guys, I'm getting over a cold, so if you hear me sniffling, Well, I'm always sniffling, but I'm just getting over a cold, so that's kind of what's going on. And if you hear any crazy noise, brother got kids, so they going crazy too. So you're gonna have to just deal with it. So anyway, back to this Demi Lovato thing. So I just don't get it. I saw a meme that they made, and I thought it was pretty apropos. Uh, it was like Black Twitter, LMFAO, regular Twitter, LMFAO, Demi Lovato, LMFAO, and then right underneath it was like a picture of Ike Turner looking at her like, "Bitch, what you laughing at?" Like, it boggles the mind. But you know what? We'll leave pop culture to others. I saw that and it really annoyed me, so I just thought I wanted to mention it. So enough with Demi Lovato. Let's talk about one highlight that I will say from the Super Bowl was the Hobbs and Shaw trailer that came out, the new Fast and Furious trailer that had dropped. It didn't drop. The Super Bowl spot hit, and the Super Bowl spot was actually garbage. You guys don't watch the Super Bowl spot. They cut out a lot of the funny stuff. Just go watch it on YouTube. The uncut, unfiltered, trailer. It is hilarious. I am so looking forward to this movie. I love Jason Statham. I love The Rock. I love the Fast and Furious franchise, and I even love it more since it's kind of gone off the hinges and went on a whole, Fast and Furious, grave robber / world saving kind of thing. Like, once they stopped focusing so much on street racing and started going all over the top, that's when the franchise became fun again to me, and I really, really enjoyed it. So the trailer looks fantastic. There were a lot of people complaining about. There was some asshole that I got into an argument with on YouTube. And he was sitting there talking about, this film is an abomination to the hardcore Fast and Furious fans. This series has just gone downhill since 3. And I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, motherfucker, this series has not been critically acclaimed since Tokyo Drift. I mean, the series have gone, like, dude, do you not understand that nobody really enjoyed the first 3 Fast and Furious? Hell, the first 4 Fast and Furious films. It wasn't until Fast 4, Fast 5 where it actually started kicking up a notch in quality and in hold on. Guys, I am breaking news. I am super excited right now. I gotta kind of play this out real quick. So had to do it. I just got an alert that my 1990s TMNT San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Ninja Turtles have just shipped. I paid $12 for the immediate, ship to door, and I just got the alert, so they will be delivered tomorrow evening. Hallelujah. Thank you, Lord. It feels good. So, for those who don't know, I am a huge toy fan. And again, you guys have probably seen my video by now. It has, almost 1,000 views on my room tour from 2019. So, thank you guys. That is definitely plus ultra. You get a plus ultra for that one. But I just got the alert. UPS is going to be shipping me my Ninja Turtles, so I'll do a review for that. I'll post some pictures on my Instagram. So again, more reason to follow the Mandarin podcast on Instagram, so you guys can check that out. That just made me very happy. And I also have the Oroku Saki back here, down here. So I'll be doing some posts with that as well. Yeah. Also, this week, I should also be getting my Deathstroke, my Amazing Yamaguchi Deathstroke. So, a lot of stuff going on. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I digress. Let's get back into. Let's get focused. Let's talk about Apex Legends. Let's talk about Apex Legends. Hobbs and Shaw, Fast and Furious. It's a great trailer. Go check it out. All right. Now to the topics at hand. Apex Legends is a game that we all thought was going to be the announcement for Titanfall 3. I thought it, most people thought it, but apparently there was like a preview event that happened like weeks ago, so a lot of us were out of the loop. So, but again, most of that stuff got leaked anyway. So, what is Apex Legends? Well, Apex Legends is a free-to-play shooter. It's an arena / battle royale game, and it's free to play, and it will have loot boxes. Now, here's the deal. From what I see, it looks good. It's in the Titanfall universe. I'm happy about that. I do believe that Titanfall 2 is by far the best shooter of this generation, hands down. Nothing can top it. This game looks like it plays a lot like Titanfall, but there are a lot of downsides that I've seen so far that I'm not really happy about. Number one, there are no Titans. It's probably why they call it Apex Legend. Number two, there is no verticality like you see in Titanfall, so you can't go running on walls and jumping off. I didn't see any grapple hooks or anything like that. And those are kind of the main components outside of the weaponry that I really enjoy from Titanfall. So to me, that is a big negative. But to be fair, it looks like all the rest of the mechanics are there. So I'm going to give it a try. And again, it's free to play. I don't have much to complain about in that realm. But I actually had the video pulled up, so we're going to listen to it, and then I'll give you my opinion on it to see whether or not we think that, or if I think that these microtransactions are fair. So let's kind of listen to it together.
So with Apex Legends, we've gone free to play, and that's purely because we think the game is awesome, and we want to get it into as many hands as possible. So we're actively trying to reduce all barriers to entry. So being a free to play game, Apex Legends has a handful of monetization systems for players who choose to spend not only their time in the game, but their money. And at Respawn, it's really important to us that we treat our players very fair, and we are very open and honest and transparent about how the game works and how these systems work specifically. We have 4 main systems. One, you can buy new legends as they come out, or you can earn them through leveling up, so you don't have to buy them. It's really important to note that they are not play better, they are play different, and that's incredibly important to us as developers, that we keep the win band for all the characters very narrow. We don't want anyone to feel like they're OP. You can buy direct cosmetics from the shop. We have rotating items that come in.
Alright, so first things first. There are going to be character releases, and the first monetization, you can either play the game and unlock the character yourself, or you can just go straight to the thing and pick up the character, and boom, they're yours. And they're making it very clear that these character unlocks are different, not stronger. So everything is, and again, but that could be a balance thing. So again, we will have to wait until we play the character before we can really judge that. Honestly, I don't have a problem with that. Like, I am one of those gamers who have a unique perspective of, I can understand both sides of the coin. I can understand that as a gamer, we want everything given to us on a silver platter, and we want. But I can also understand the fact that these developers need to make money in order to bring us content. So while they don't have to rape us with microtransactions, I understand that microtransactions in this day and age are a necessity to make extra revenue. And I can get that. As long as they're done with respect and with non-predatory intentions, I can get behind some sort of microtransactions. I am the person where I like to buy what I want. I'm not really huge on random chance. If I see a gun or a character that I want, I just want to be able to buy that character and boom, hit a button and buy that character and I'm done. I don't want to roll at a chance to get something. I want to just get a guaranteed thing if I buy it. So far, as long as they don't increase the duration on how long it takes to unlock these characters so that it's not pushing people to buy them, then okay, then I'll be happy with that. But again, only time will tell in that scenario. Let's keep going.
Out every week. So if you see something you want, there's a price attached to it, just go buy it. You can buy a battle pass starting in season 1. That gives you all sorts of cosmetics and a leveling curve for that. And then finally we have Apex Pass. So in the Apex packs, you can unlock all sorts of cosmetics for your character, whether it's skins or new poses and banners for your banner cards. We have kill lines, equip lines, so if you're the best player on the server at the start of a match, you get highlighted and the character gets to say something super cool.
Losing isn't fun. That's why I don't do it.
We've got finisher animations that you can unlock as well, and those are all available in the Apex packs. And
now I will say, in Titanfall, I was a sucker for kill animations. Now, I will say, in Titanfall's world, it is very hard to pull off some of those executions because of verticality, because the game was so fast. So, but when you did eventually pull off some of those executions, it does look great. So, if I were to go into some of those packs, that would be something that would entice me. Would I spend money on it? Remains to be seen, but I do like the kill animations.
Whether you bought an Apex pack or earned it, you have the same chance of earning the same types of items. They're more commonly known as loot boxes, but they are randomized packs of cosmetics only. There is nothing functional in them for any kind of pay-to-power mentality. It's entirely optional if you want to buy them. You also earn them through playing the game. We have published the drop rates for all the different rarity tiers in the game and on the...
Wow, they're actually going above and beyond. I'm surprised. So, not only are they giving us stat information, so you'll know exactly what your odds are to get the certain rarities, but they're also, I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I can't be mad at that. You know, I believe that, again, people have the right to spend their money however they want to. So if you have the impatient gamer that wants to just throw like $5,000 into buying, opening up packs, I mean, more power to them. I mean, as long as you're telling me that that person who's buying stuff is not going to get a power advantage over me, they're just going to look better, what the hell do I care?
On the website, we have bad luck protection, so you won't go forever without unlocking a legendary.
Wow, legendary item 7.4%, epic or better 24.8%, and they actually put in bad luck banners, barriers, so that you will make sure that you don't just keep going without getting something good. It looks like they thought of everything.
There's no duplicates. We don't limit you on what you can get as a free player only. And we've done all this because we really do care about the transparency and kind of fairness of these systems, so that people don't feel like we're trying to take advantage of them. And it's really an optional buy-in. So if you want kind of like a discount at more items, that's really where you should go for Apex packs versus, say, the direct purchase shop, where I see one thing, I'm going to spend for that one thing. Most importantly,
so they're kind of trying to push you closer towards opening up the Apex packs versus buying them directly.
The more players play our games, the better. And if they're free, cool. If they spend some money, cool. Doesn't matter. We just want people to enjoy our work as creators.
Okay. All right, guys. You got my attention. So, like I said, I'm downloading the game now. Hopefully, I'll be able to play it tonight, and I'll report back and let you guys know what I really think about Apex Legends. So, I mean, like I said, me personally, I don't see much to complain about. It's free to play. The microtransactions are not pay to win, so you do not get a strategic advantage by buying loot boxes. It's all strictly cosmetic. Again, the fact that there are no Titans, zip lines, no Titans, grapples, or wall running kind of sucks. I think probably the only biggest negative that I could say about this game right now is probably the fact that if this game does well, we probably won't ever see a Titanfall 3, and that's very unfortunate. So I think right now that's probably the biggest negative, is that if this game does well, we probably won't ever get a Titanfall 3, because, again, EA doesn't care about Titanfall as like a game. They care about making money. And if this free-to-play game is making them millions and millions of dollars, like Fortnite types of money, they have no incentive of putting money into another Titanfall game. They're going to say, just keep iterating on Apex Legends. That's what's making us money. So that's why I hate companies like EA, because, again, at the end of the day, because they care only about money, it lets creativity fly out the window sometimes. So Respawn, while I love them as a developer, They need this to succeed. But again, unfortunately, I think a casualty of this will probably be Titanfall 3. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong, but that's what it's looking like. So, damn. Whew. Alright. Before I get into my main topics, Division 2. Let's talk about the Division 2. So, Division 2 is a game that I fell in love with. Full disclosure, when the game first came out on, was it PlayStation 4? Yeah, it was PlayStation 4. On PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. I got it on Xbox One. For some reason, I just love playing my third-person shooters on Xbox. The controller, the way it looks, I love me some Xbox. So, full disclosure, I do plan on pre-ordering this game. I pre-ordered the first one, and I didn't regret it. I'm going to probably end up pre-ordering this game as well, so just full disclosure. I love The Division. Now, everything I've seen so far from the game, it looks great. It looks like they learned a lot from the first Division, and they hope to not make those mistakes this time around. So again, as far as I'm concerned, everything looks great. Now, we just got word. Now, let me just pull this up so that I'm not spreading misinformation. That's the last thing I want to do. They just released information on their pre-order bonuses. Like if you get the basic, gold, all that jazz. So I just want to make sure I read it all. So the big controversy on the Division 2, which I don't think is a big deal, is the fact that they're actually letting people you can pay to access the game 3 days earlier. And to me, I'm like, so? I'm the kind of person where I'm like, back in the day, if you were releasing like a fighting game, like, remember Soul Calibur, guys? Like, I don't know if you guys remember, but there were times where if you had Soul Calibur on the PlayStation, you got Heihachi Mishima as an unlockable character. If you got Soul Calibur on I believe it was the GameCube, you got access to Link. And if you got it on the Xbox version, I believe it was Spawn. So each system had their own exclusive character that you couldn't get on the other systems. That's kind of how they sold it on each system, even though it was coming out on the same system. So to me, I'm like, these kind of practices have been around forever, and I don't think people complain like that. Like, I just feel like people are just so entitled right now, where they're like, if you're going to release the game 3 days earlier, you should just release it for everybody. Why should we have to pay to get 3-day access earlier? We should just get it all. I'm like, motherfucker, why would they want to give you 3 days extra access for free? That's the whole point of them trying to make money, so that you can say, hey, this game is ready. You want to play it 3 days earlier? Give me $10. That's how that whole works. This is not a charity. Like, get the fuck over yourself. Like, that shit drives me nuts. It does. Like, I'm like, to me, when I look at those things, I'm just like, nope, that makes sense. I mean, if you want to play the game 3 days earlier, you give me $10, I get to play it 3 days earlier. It makes sense. If I was running a business and I had a movie and I'm like, hey, this movie releases on Friday, but you give me an extra $5, you can see the movie on Tuesday. I'm going to give you an extra $5 if I want to see it Tuesday. I'm not saying you can't see it at all. I'm just saying you got to wait for the rest of the common folk. You see it on Friday. Or you can be that exclusive VIP. Give me an extra $5 and you can buy your way into seeing it. Again, people just need to understand that this pre-orders and bonuses and stuff, this is not a democracy where their goal is to be fair and balanced for everybody. Their goal is to make money and get people to pre-order the game to get guaranteed sales. In order to do that, they're bringing out demos, they're bringing out early access, and I have no problem with that. They're not supposed to make things even. That's not how the world works. Duh. Anyway, so we have the basic version, we have the gold edition, we have the ultimate edition, And if you pre-order the game, you get access to the private beta, and then you also get the Capital Defender pack, which includes an exotic shotgun, some blueprints, and the Hazmat 2.0 outfit. Now that, what I will say is, if you're doing it for that suit, I'd say don't. Because I remember when I pre-ordered the game for the first division, the weapons you got at the beginning, it might have given you an advantage for all of an hour. And then you'll probably end up getting guns that outclass anything that this DLC thing would have gotten you. So this shotgun that you're talking about, that shotgun would get out-leveled within an hour or less. So it's not really worth it if you're going to buy it for that sole reason. I'm going to pre-order the game because I want to have access 3 days earlier than everybody else. Because you know what that means? That means that I got 3 days to get to the end game before everybody else. That's what us looter shooters care about. Looter shooter people care about getting better loot before everybody else, making your character look cooler before everybody else, and beating the game before everybody else. And if you're telling me that I get 3 days access ahead of everybody else, that's what I'm going to want to do. It's just as simple as that. There is no secret society where I think that Ubisoft and that they are crooks and they should give everybody deserves equal access to the game at the same time. We should not be able to pay to have earlier access. Fuck out of here. If I'm running a business and I know that's a tactic that could work, I'm going to sell it. And guess what? As a consumer, I like the idea. I like the idea of getting something before everybody else. I do. I like just like these game reviewers who get free copies, just like they get free copies above everybody else. Do you think they're sitting there and they're talking about we should not have access to this game before all the rest of the consumers? No, they're thinking that we deserve access because we're reviewers and that we have to be able to tell them if they're going to enjoy the game or not. They're already having an elitist mindset because they feel like that you shouldn't play the game until they tell you that it's okay to play it. I'm not that kind of reviewer. I'm the kind of person where I'm like, if you like the game, buy the game. If you like the product, buy the product. I mean, I do think that you should listen and see what other people are thinking about the game. But again, at the end of the day, as human beings, if we like something, it's nothing in this world is going to make us change our mind. And I've learned nothing has taught me that more than Trump. So, I hate to get political, but, you know, fuck it. I mean, Trump is just like,
Gotcha, bitch!
I mean, it is what it is. So, like I said, the division looks good. I'm going to probably pre-order that so I can get into that beta. I've been dying to play this game. Anthem, which I'm going to talk about in full. What I'm going to do, that's going to be the two major stories I talk about, is my experience with both the VIP demo for Anthem and the open demo that just happened this weekend. I just kind of want to give my thoughts on what I liked, what I didn't like, what makes me nervous, some of the new information that I just got on Anthem. So, you know, just stay tuned. But like I said, the Gold Edition includes, which is probably what I'll end up getting, is 3 days early. You also it also includes the 1 year pass, and it looks like the 1 year pass includes 7-day early access to all year episodes, exclusive customization items, additional activities, and more to be shared soon. So that's if you get the Gold Edition. And let's see, the Ultimate Edition, digital only. You get all the same things that you get in Gold, but you also get a Battle Worn Secret Service pack, including Secret Service outfit, a rare quality emote, an exotic quality M41A skin. First Responders pack includes a special outfit and weapon skin. Elite Agent pack includes an exotic assault rifle, an exclusive skill effect, and an additional stash space. Okay, that's kind of cool. Gives you more. And you got like a Dark Zone Collector's Edition that comes with like a statue and emotes and guns and everything else that I mentioned before. Then they got like other crazy things like the Phoenix Shield Collector's Edition. Like, they got a lot of shit. And again, I think that's kind of where people are getting upset about all these different editions and how much more money you can pay. But again, you have to just look at it from the perspective of, if this person is a fan of this game, there is nothing that you're going to say to stop this person from buying it. Like, I love anime. I love video games. So, if I am a huge fan of Jump Force, and I want that statue of Goku and Luffy and Naruto all together. If the game itself is only a consolation prize, if I want that statue, I'm going to buy that Ultimate Edition. I don't care if that game is garbage. If that person loves anime and loves those kind of things, they're going to still buy it regardless of what anyone says. So just let them be. So that's kind of how I feel in those two things there. So those are the two brief stories that I want to kind of cover. Now I want to kind of jump into talking about Anthem. Anthem is the new BioWare and EA game that's going to be the new looter shooter for this generation going into the next. The VIP demo was last weekend, and I pre-ordered Anthem in order to get access to that VIP demo. And I wanted to talk about it on the podcast, but again, things happen. Didn't get to talk about it, so I can talk about it now. We also had the open demo this weekend, and the open demo, which was open to everybody, kind of had an opportunity to jump on. You could use all of the javelins and, just kind of play around, and you had one strike or... you had access to the I think they're called strikes. If they're not strikes, maybe that's Destiny, but I can't remember what it's called. Strongholds, yeah, that's what it's called. So you had access to the stronghold. You had access to like a small chapter in the story. It was overall, I enjoyed the Anthem demo. The things before I talk about the bad, I want to talk about the good, because again, I don't want to be like some of these people on YouTube where they just bitch and complain, and then they say, oh, well, the game is great, after they just bitch and complain for like 45 minutes straight. So, what I want to say about Anthem. So, if I had to sum Anthem up and just kind of give it a ringing endorsement as to why you should play it, I would just say the verticality of Anthem is unparalleled. Like, it is hands down one of the most satisfying experiences is just the movement in this game. It doesn't matter if you, well, it does matter, but if you're using the Colossus people say it's slow, but I actually thought it moved fine. And again, I love how if you're flying with the Colossus, you can pull out your battering ram. So like if you're flying into a battle, like there's this one thing on the stronghold, where you're flying into the stronghold battle, and there are turrets that are shooting at you as you're flying in. And if you're the Colossus, you can pull out this big shield, and you put it in front of you as you're flying, and it's kind of like reflecting bullets as you're like flying in. It's almost like Saving Private Ryan. It was awesome. So the Colossus is great. The Ranger is great. The Ranger will probably be my main. The Ranger just kind of has a really great balance of offense and defense. I really did like the Colossus, but I just did not enjoy the amount of damage that it could take, because you think that the Colossus would be able to take the most damage, but the Colossus doesn't even have a shield per se. So the Ranger has a shield, like a force shield, and then like a health bar. So you have to take down that force shield first before they can even do any lasting damage to you. But the Colossus doesn't have that. The Colossus just has that one bar, and then they have like a shield, but that shield can't take anything. Like if that shield gets shot like one or two good times, that thing is done. So I do think that if they want the Colossus to be viable, they need to increase the damage that the Colossus can take. That is definitely something I would tell BioWare to do. The Interceptor I also use as well, and I had a really great time with the Interceptor. The Interceptor would probably be akin to like Jehuti from Zone of the Enders, where it's very fast. It can do like a double spin. It can jump in the air and twirl. It's basically its primary functions, where the Ranger would throw grenades and shoot out rockets. The Interceptor has like glaive blades and what gets in fast and does like a lot of like quick cuts and sharp, stabs, and gets in a lot of melee damage and can move in and out very quickly, but they can all kind of use the same weaponry. So I love the combat. I really enjoyed the combat. I do think that they could probably work on some of the sound quality of the actual bullets so that they feel more satisfying when shooting. But that might just be a product of the some of the bosses and monsters being bullet sponges. And I know that was a big thing that they like to talk about in Division. The Division didn't really bother me, but I kind of understood where people were upset about it. But people need to understand it. In looter shooters, that is kind of the thing. Like, you go in with weaker weapons, and you notice that it takes like 15 to 20 seconds to kill this person until you get that gun, that legendary gun. And where last time it took 20 seconds to kill this guy, if you got this legendary weapon, 20 seconds goes to like 5 seconds. You unload on this guy like 2 or 3 shots and he's dead. So that's kind of where that bullet spongy thing comes into play. So I kind of understand where people's argument is there, but at the same time it has a purpose. Also, what I enjoyed about Anthem is just playing with friends. Like, I had a squad on PS4. I played with my homie, and again, it was fun. Like, it really was enjoyable just playing, doing the stronghold, doing the story mission. It was fun. Now, what I will say about Anthem, and again, I have to be honest, is I do understand where people's issues are, where they're saying that there is not a lot of end-game content. Like, I feel like you could probably beat the story mode in Anthem in under 10 hours, and then they only have 3 stronghold missions, the open roam area, which was kind of barren when I played it, and then they also have like your dailies and your weeklies and stuff like that, and that's it. Now, to be fair, I do think that when Division first launched as well, it had a content problem. When Destiny launched the first time, it had a content problem. So that's kind of what you kind of have to accept when you're dealing with a looter shooter / games as a service, is that you're not going to get all of the content up front. You're not going to get months and months and months and months worth of content. That's kind of why you kind of have to play with a group of people, because that's what makes it fun and that's what extends your playtime. So, what I didn't like about Anthem that I have to talk about. What I didn't like about Anthem, most of all, was the issues that we were having in Anthem. And again, more so on the VIP demo weekend than the second weekend. So, admittedly, they did a better job the second time around. But honestly, I have to say it was one of the most frustrating things that I've dealt with as a gamer. And I've dealt with a lot as a gamer. Like, I was one of those gamers where, it took like 5 years to load up a map. Or just, I'm an old school gamer, so I understand some of the frustrations. So I do think that gamers nowadays are a lot more impatient. So when things are loading and it takes a while, the infinite load screen that we kept getting the first weekend, I got that damn near every other match, and I couldn't finish the strikes most times. Hell, I wasn't able to finish a strike at all the second time around. Like, I finally beat one when I got in on a random matchup, and it was already halfway through, and I was able finally to finish the strike. But one of the most frustrating things that happened to me at least 5 or 6 times, and this was just this past weekend, was I would be in a strike, and I'd be going through the mission with my teammates, and then I would pick up items, I would be doing good, I would get halfway through the strike, and then I would just get dropped from the match. I don't know if I personally got kicked out. I don't know if the entire group got kicked out. All I know is that I would get returned back to Fort Tarsus, which I hate, and then I would basically have to start all over again. None of the items that I picked up during that match I got. None of the experience, even though I was already max level at that point. All of that stuff, none of that stuff. I didn't get any drops, nothing. All of it basically was just gone. And I had to just get right back to the start. And I had to do that same stupid animation where the guy's like fixing his hand and it looks like he's missing a finger and all this other crap. And then you gotta go walk up the same flight of stairs to get to your javelin. And that was probably another thing that I really disliked about Anthem as well. Unfortunately, I hate Fort Tarsus. Like, I definitely don't think that part of the game is necessary. If they could find a way to turn that off, I would be forever grateful. Or at the very least, have an ability for me to start right where the javelin is every time, because I don't want to talk to any of the people in that city. I just don't. I don't care. Like, I'm afraid that for story purposes, I'm going to have to walk around Fort Tarsis a lot. I don't look forward to that at all. But again, I'll do it. I'll do what I have to do in order to beat the game. But I can honestly say, and again, I have a lot of friends that echo the same sentiment, that Fort Tarsis or Fort Taurus or whatever the hell it's called, it's not fun. It just basically feels like you're on a rail, on like a rail roller coaster, where you're just sitting stagnant, you're just moving, and there's just like a bunch of lifeless people talking the same shit over and over again. It really sucks. But other than that, like I said, I also want to praise BioWare for giving us somewhat decent customization when it comes to colors. I know a lot of people like to complain about Destiny because, again, you had to pay for bright engrams and just, shaders and things of that nature when it came to Destiny 2, and they're not doing that in Anthem. But again, I know there's one big thing that people are upset about because, again, now they're also, because again, this is a $60 game, they're also, it looks to be like they're going to be charging $20 for skins. Again, I understand both sides of the coin. I understand that people at BioWare and the people at EA, well, not even so much BioWare, but I understand that EA, they need to see a return on their investment. They put $100 million into this game, and just you buying that $60 game is not enough for them. They're currently in the process of just, they're a company that right now makes millions and billions of dollars off of microtransactions. All their mobile games are generating billions of dollars annually, and then they're also generating billions of dollars from FIFA World Ultimate Team, things like that. So they just want more franchises to bring them more money in for monetization and loot boxes, and that's just the way that it is. Now, me personally, I don't ever see myself spending $20 on a skin. And quite frankly, even the skins that they did list on the Anthem, on that leaked document, those skins didn't even look good to me. Those skins look like ass. I wouldn't buy those skins, especially for $20. So again, I know that the PR people came out and tried to double talk it away and just try to say, pricing is static, it's always moving, we don't know what's going to be yet, So we'll see how that goes. So overall, I enjoyed Anthem. Alright, so Anthem is a great game. I definitely think you should play it. Excuse me, guys, I know this is disgusting, but apologize about that. Like I said, I'm getting over a cold, so I didn't mean to blow my nose on live on stream, but you gotta do what you gotta do. But I got my alright, we good. Those of you who are listening to the to this podcast episode versus watching it on my YouTube channel, you probably would get a good laugh out of that. Again, as far as just like the stability was concerned with Anthem, things were better the second weekend that just passed. Instead of getting an infinite load screen, what would happen is, because before the first weekend, what would happen is you'd get about 85 to 90% of the loading screen, and it would just freeze. You'd have to close out the game, go back to the title screen, get into another game, and if your teammates are already in the match, you could automatically restart with them, but you would have to close out manually and then go through the same process again. What they did was, if you were getting a loading screen error, the system itself would just kick you back to the title screen automatically. It wouldn't give you the infinite load screen and get you stuck there. But again, I still had lots of issues connecting to the servers, connecting to random matches. It was still buggy, and again, I literally could not finish strikes, and I just gave up after like the 6th or 7th time where I got into a strike and I got booted and didn't get anything for it, and I was just like, I can't, and I just gave up. So EA, BioWare, you guys definitely need to look into that, because again, if that's the kind of issue that you're having on launch, it's not going to go well. Like I said, it's not going to go well if that's happening. What else? I think that's everything. Like I said, The game looks great. The movement. I'm sorry. I remember now. I was also having issues with my sound going out. It was very prevalent in the first weekend, but I also had a situation again in the second weekend where I'd be shooting and then all of a sudden the sound muffles out and you can kind of hear the bullets falling, but you couldn't actually hear the muzzle flash or the guns actually popping off. It was just like it was almost like the audio was out of sync. It was very weird and I didn't like it. But again, that happened to me on one of my last run-throughs on trying to do a strike before I just gave up. And honestly, I was just like, I'm never going to be able to finish this thing. So that's kind of, like I said, my overall impressions. The game looks like fun. I don't think that Anthem is a game that's been meant to be played by yourself. So even if you don't have a crew to play with, I would definitely matchmake into a random group and just try to play it that way, because that's definitely the definitive way of playing this game. I promise you, it's about playing with a group. So that's my thoughts on Anthem. Again, it was a lot of fun. Definitely worth your purchase. I will be playing on PS4. I will be playing with the crew. So I hope to see you guys online. The last topic that I want to talk about on this special episode is Metro Exodus, I think it's called. I've never, in full disclosure, I've never played a Metro game before. So I guess that gives me a good, unique perspective on this whole scenario. Because again, I don't have any real skin in the game. I just kind of observed the situation and came up with a determination based off of my limited information that I have on it. So, what is Metro? Yeah, it is Metro Exodus. So, Metro Exodus is a new game that is for Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and the publisher is Deep Silver, and the engine is running on the 4A engine, and it's scheduled to be released on February 15th. So, where is the controversy then? The controversy is that earlier this week, so when it comes to PC gaming, you have one major way of buying PC games. The PC market has been taken over by Steam for the past 5, 10 plus years. Steam has basically been the only client that you can use to download video games. They have been able to pretty much set their price, and again, because there was no competition, they've pretty much been able to just do whatever they want unabated, because again, there was no competition. So obviously, that's not going to last forever. Over the last couple of years, there have been a lot of other contenders that came out. I know there was a big controversy because the original Division didn't come to Steam. There was a whole big thing about that. But again, keep in mind, games like Metro Exodus, a game that I actually, even though I didn't play the other two games, I saw this game when it got revealed at E3 a few years ago, and I actually enjoyed it. It looked great. It was one of those games that I was like, I don't know if I would buy this, but I would totally get it on GameFly, beat the hell out of it, and then just kind of like send it back or whatever. But I would definitely play this game. Excuse me. So what ended up happening is the game was available on Steam for pre-order, and then the Epic Game Store, which is a rival to the Steam Game Store, it's a rival client where you can download video games. Epic Games has been trying to jump into this market where they would be like a PC client provider, where they would provide free games. And from what I read, they have been doing a great job. Like, they're offering free video games to people like monthly, kind of like PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live gives us free games every month. The Epic Store has been doing the same thing, trying to grow its fan base and grow people of using its client to download video games. Again, none of this, I don't have any issues with this. So it looks like what happened is Epic kind of bought exclusive rights to Metro Exodus and made it so that Metro Exodus would no longer be available to be purchased on Steam. And the internet lost its fucking mind. PC gamers, they all lost their shit. How dare you did it? And again, from the outside looking in, it would make sense to be upset. I get it 100%. But if you actually go out and do your research, it does look like, this is kind of like Steam not being happy with change. So therefore, they're creating a narrative where they look like the victim of a big injustice, and they want their fan base to kind of attack Epic in order to make themselves feel better. And that's kind of what bothers me. Essentially what happened was Metro was available on all these platforms for pre-order. So you could, up until a couple of days ago, go on to the Steam store and purchase Metro, pre-order the game, and you'd be fine. Once this deal came through, it kind of came out of left field. A lot of people went online and tried to pre-order the game real fast if they wanted it on Steam. And then they kind of shut it off. So here's the facts, because there were rumors going around that if you had bought it on Steam, that they wouldn't honor it and you wouldn't get updates and stuff like that. But the people over at Epic Games have come out and have confirmed that this is false. If you pre-ordered your game on Steam up until the point where they pulled it, you will still have full access to the game on Steam. You don't have to open up an Epic client and play the game. You can still do all that stuff on Steam. And I understand one of the benefits of having Steam, because again, I'm not a PC player, so I don't understand fully, but one of the things about having it on Steam is that you can do refunds. So like if you buy a game on Steam and you play it for a certain amount of time, as long as you're under that threshold, you can return the game. And I do believe that the Epic Store don't have that ability to do that. I do think that is a big deal, because again, the ability of being able to refund a game if you don't like it, that is very major, especially in the world where we live in, where you haven't been able to return a video game like you used to in like years before GameStop kind of took over the monopoly on that. So I definitely understand that argument from the people who don't want to switch from Steam. But here's the thing that pisses me off. When gamers, including myself, we're lazy. We like things the way we like them. I know this for a fact. Again, this is partially the reason why I'm still so upset with Nintendo and I don't own a Switch, and I probably won't buy a Switch even if there's a new Nintendo game. I've talked about this until nausea. But we're kind of stuck in our ways and we like what we like, and if anything that comes in and tries to change that, we throw a hissy fit. I'm victim of the same thing. I've done it. I know I've done it. So I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I don't understand where some of these PC gamers are coming from. I do. But if you're telling me that all things equal, you can still buy this game and play it on PC, you just have to download another client in order to play the game, who the fuck cares? Who cares? It'll take you an extra 5 to 10 minutes to download another client and you can play the game. You have to understand that the whole purpose of this is so that Epic can bring over more people to play their games. And apparently, it looks like Epic didn't just pay for an exclusivity deal with Metro Exodus. It also looks like the developers themselves are getting a bigger cut of the pie. Now, I know people want to make the argument that because Steam has a bigger client base, that it doesn't matter if they're making more money per game with Epic, is that they have a bigger base of people playing the game, so that they would still make money in the long run by having it on Steam. Which might be true, but again, at the same time, it's not for us, the gamers, to decide on how, Epic and how they monetize a game and how they should be receiving money and how much money they should be receiving. That is up to them to make that decision. It's no different than when Xbox was the top dog in town and they had those exclusivity deals when it came to Call of Duty. I wasn't really a huge fan of those myself, but again, I understood it. It was also no different than when Microsoft was dying to get its hands on its own version of Uncharted, and they ended up getting the exclusivity deal for the very first Tomb Raider. And to be fair, that worked because, again, at that point, I did not own an Xbox. I was not going to buy an Xbox, but because I loved me some Tomb Raider. I'm sorry, it wasn't even the first Tomb Raider. The first Tomb Raider was on all platforms. I believe I'm talking about Rise of Tomb Raider. The second entry in the series was a Xbox exclusive for 1 year. And I had gotten the Tomb Raider bundle edition. I got it specifically for that game. And I would not be owning an Xbox if not for that exclusivity deals they got. So that just goes to show that kind of stuff works. Because up until that point, I only had a PS4, and I was completely content with having only a PS4. So why is it that gamers are so salty about this whole situation? One of the developers, this news just came out a couple days, well, just today actually I heard about it. Well, one of the developers came out and kind of made a bonehead decision to kind of rile up the fan base even more, dumbass. And what he did was he kind of came out, and I understand what he was trying to say, but just dealing with, PR in general, it was probably not a great idea. What the guy was trying to say is that there are a lot of people online trolling that would have never played Metro Exodus in the first place. And again, our industry is filled with people who do this. There are a lot of people who, that's like me being upset about the whole FIFA thing. I don't play FIFA. So it's like me jumping on a FIFA forums and bitching and complaining and starting an uproar on a game that I have no intention of ever playing and I have never played before. That's kind of what he was talking about. It was like there were a lot of people who were upset about this, but there were a lot of people who didn't care because at the end of the day, the game is available on Xbox, the game is available on PS4. You can get this game in a lot of other different ways, and it's not going to impede on your enjoyment of this game. So this was already almost a big nothing burger because, again, there was only a small segment of people who pre-ordered this game on PC, so it wasn't going to really hurt them anyway, but again, I digress. The issue was that, he kind of came out and insulted the fan base by basically, saying that, these guys don't matter. Even if they did, they couldn't do what we do. He basically and again, everybody should know, especially in PR, you don't insult your fan base. You don't insult the people who are buying your game. It doesn't matter if it's on PC. It doesn't matter if it's on PS4. Because at the end of the day, what these people are going to do is just revolt. So that was not a smart part. But again, I get the frustration from these developers. Sometimes it's kind of like this whole Trump thing that we're living in, where people just feel emboldened to just say whatever the hell they want. Because they're like, if Trump can be an asshole 365, why can't I? So people have been getting this liquid courage, and it's been causing them to just say stupid shit. And this was just kind of one of the things that this guy had diarrhea of the mouth, and he just said some really dumb shit, and it got him in trouble. Now, of course, the developer came out later, and another developer kind of came out and clarified his statements, and just kind of tried to downplay it and make it seem like it wasn't as bad as it was. Me personally, I kind of respect people like that. Kind of say what you mean, say it to my face, not behind my back. I get it. I really get it. We gamers are entitled. Sometimes it's valid, sometimes it's not. I definitely think this particular scenario was overplayed and out and overblown. But again, I think it got worse when the developer came out and just made it worse themselves. Overall, I definitely think that Metro Exodus is going to still be a great game. I do plan on getting it on GameFly. Again, my schedule is very tight right now because, again, with Anthem coming out and with Metro coming out and then with Division coming out next month, it's going to be a tough time to be a gamer, but it's a great problem to have. So all in all, this is pretty much just what I wanted to talk about today. I don't really have any other plans. I'll upload this onto the podcast. I also upload this on my YouTube channel if you want to see my beautiful face. Don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe to the channel. Magner Podcast, showing off the king, and you guys have an awesome day. And I'm still on screen.